This place used to be full of American soldiers. This street once pulsed with music, neon lights, and late-night chatter. For decades, thousands of US soldiers filled these alleys, eating, drinking, shopping that defined the identity of this town. But beginning in the 2000s, things changed. As the United States restructured its forces in Korea, relocating troops south to Pyeongtaek and consolidating bases, the impact rippled through places like Dongducheon. But what followed hit even harder. In the late 2000s, several US bases here were planned to be returned to the Korean government. Some smaller sites were handed back, but the largest bases were not. The soldiers were gone, yet the land remained locked in limbo. Without access to its own land, the city couldn't redevelop. And for a town built around those bases, that uncertainty accelerated its decline. When the soldiers left, businesses lost their lifeline. Entire blocks emptied almost overnight. Local shop owners still remember the day the streets went quiet. Some say they survived on military customers for 30 years.
3, 40년 전에는 여기가 완전히 별천지였었어요. 달러가 막 풍부해지니까 그때에 비하면 지금은 뭐 10분의 1 된다고 봐야죠.
Now, many of these storefronts sit abandoned. Dusty windows, faded signs, doors chained shut. Walking here, it feels strange to witness how geopolitics can reshape the lives of ordinary people. A decision made in Washington or Seoul, a military strategy, a base relocation, a diplomatic shift can determine whether a cafe survives or an entire neighborhood disappears. This town is a reminder that the global and the personal are always connected. And yet, this place is more than just an empty street. It's a chapter in the long, complicated, and often emotional story between Korea and the United States. A story shaped by war, sacrifice, gratitude, and debate. In the 1950s, the Korean War erupted. During the 3 brutal years that followed, the United States became South Korea's most important military ally. For many Koreans, especially older generations, the presence of US troops is inseparable from the survival of the country itself. More than 36,000 American soldiers died here. And many believe that without US support, Korea's future would have looked very different. Because of the history, many Koreans came to view the US-Korea alliance with deep gratitude. It's not uncommon to hear people say, "We live well today because America helped us during the war." For decades, that sentiment shaped public opinion, and military towns like Dongducheon thrived because of it. But as generations changed, so did perspectives. Younger Koreans grew up in a prosperous, globally connected country. They are more likely to question the necessity of a large foreign military presence, raising concerns about sovereignty, noise, accidents, and crimes near bases. Yet, the debate is far from settled. Some argue the alliance remains essential, especially as North Korea continues to advance its nuclear program. In recent years, this conversation grew louder, especially during the Trump administration. President Trump openly questioned the cost of keeping US troops overseas. He framed alliances not as shared values, but as financial deals. For many Americans, this reflected a broader shift, war fatigue after decades in Iraq and Afghanistan, and a growing focus on problems at home. But for Koreans, it raised an uncomfortable question. Is our security guaranteed or conditional? We often talk about military strategy in abstract terms, troop rotations, defense budgets, alliance structures. But on the ground, these decisions affect bartenders, taxi drivers, restaurant owners, and landlords. Some residents saw their income drop by 70 to 90% after the relocation. Some buildings have been empty for years, gathering dust and memories. Military planners speak in numbers, troop levels, budgets, strategic flexibility. But towns like this don't live in numbers. They live in customers, rent, and daily routines. When the troops left, the strategy succeeded, but the town collapsed. Standing here today, these streets feel quiet, but they're not empty of meaning. They tell a story of how two nations intertwined their histories, cultures, economies, and identities for more than 70 years. They also raise a question. What happens to places built around the relationship that no longer exist? As the US-Korea alliance continues to evolve, and as tensions on the Korean peninsula remain unpredictable, towns like Dongducheon serves as a reminder. History isn't only written in textbooks or diplomatic speeches. Sometimes it's written on empty streets. Dongducheon forces us to ask difficult questions. What happens when a town builds its identity around a foreign presence? What happens when the presence leaves? Not because of war, but because the world has changed? And what does this quiet street say about the future of the US-Korea alliance in a world where power, priorities, and public opinion are shifting? This place may look forgotten, but it holds a quiet truth about war, peace, and the people who live between them. A forgotten chapter of the US-Korea story, but not the last one. Before we end, one quick update. We've opened a channel membership, not for more content, but for more context. Inside, we're uploading our full travel tutorial series, detailed guides we originally created outside YouTube. Members also get access to exclusive videos and a space where we respond directly to your questions about travel decisions, cultural situations, and everyday life in Korea. And occasionally, when a drama or a scene helps explain something real about Korea, we'll talk about it there too. If you want to understand Korea beyond what's visible, you're welcome to join.